I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome into Pregaming. It's Monday, August 5th, 6 p.m. Couple of minutes to get a last-minute adjustment in for you guys tonight. We got a Major League Baseball slate in front of us tonight. You guys can see the deal. We're going to get into that Arizona-Cleveland game. We got Minnesota and the Cubs, Houston and the Rangers battling again. We got Boston and KC. We'll close it out with the Phillies and the Dodgers. And I was trying to find this RBI that doesn't want to show itself. So we do have another one. Let me just make sure. Let me make a note so I get to it when we get to it. Want to make sure we get all of this action out there for you guys tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got some great spots out there, some action in play already. We're looking at trying to get this under. You guys heard it earlier today. Them boys, Davy and Dutch at the session. We're back. We're ready to go, you guys. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Maybe you made a little cash with that Sunday night double spot there. We had, those Cubs in that 17-0 moves to 18-0. Then we went off and we got a little RBI action with our guy, Cody Bellinger. Excited about what's happening out there, you guys. Trying to make that money. Lots of things working here, getting ready for football. We've got hockey and basketball stuff in the works as well. So much fun, you guys. Trying to get there, trying to get to that magic number of 500. We're grinding. We're grinders. We're doing it on the daily. You guys have been joining us every step of the way. We had a nice little Saturday show, and it was actually a Saturday afternoon show, which incidentally put me in the bag, and that's the way it goes. So we got a little intro there. We'll see how long that intro lasts until they shut us down for obscenities, but working on some things, you guys. Just trying to splice it up. That standard 30-second countdown is just boring. We got another one for you guys, too. Very curious to hear which one you guys prefer. So pay attention. Tomorrow we'll debut number 2. You guys tell me which one it is that you want to hear a little bit more on the regular. Got to match the energy to come in here, though. You guys know, 6 o'clock, you're getting out of work. You're figuring out the dinner plans. Maybe you're thinking about your cocktail consumption for the evening. Let's talk about how we get paid in baseball. Can't wait to do it. You guys know the deal. Smash the thumbs up button. Most important. Need you guys now more than ever. Hit that thumbs up. Show the support. Help us crack this code and let them know we're here doing this on the regular. Get your pen and paper ready. Lots of things to share. You guys know there's tons of great action coming by way of the chat. Sharpest chat in the business. We've been grinding for almost a year. Right around, I believe, October, we'll make that 1 year mark that we've been giving you guys stuff on the regular Mondays through Fridays. And we've all been building, growing, learning, benefiting from each other's expertise. Now we got all day to look at the card. It's time to fire. So make sure you throw your favorite plays in the chat. We certainly want to recognize what you guys got kicking out there. And let's see. Something doesn't quite look right to me, but we're going to fire anyways. That's what we do here. It's time to get going. Mets 1-0 over these cards. Cash that Nerfy. I know a lot of you guys were on that Nerfy. Great work. And you know what? We're looking at this under. Still sitting there with now we're down to 6.5. So we got that reverse line movement. Went from 8.5s to 9s. We fired on that under 9. Let's see if that comes through for us here. And look, my show. Nobody says I can't go out there and give a play for you guys anyways. I got a parlay to pop some things off here in the 645 slot. Kind of a weird baseball slot tonight. We've got 1, 2, 3, 640 games. Then we have a lull in action until the 3 8 o'clock games, a 940 spot between the shittiest team in baseball, the Chicago White Sox, and then JP Sears and the Oakland Athletics. 10-10 pops us off with the West Coast nightcap in a battle of NL potentials, the Phillies and the Dodgers. So we got plenty of time to go, although they did cram us in here early. So I'm going to pop off with a parlay to kick things off for you guys, and then we will jump in. But let's see what's doing in the chat, you guys. I love you guys coming in here regularly, hanging out with us, doing this thing. We got to get paid. We got to keep building. We got to get these bankrolls going because we only got a couple more weeks until football. We should be 1-0 in preseason football. I'm really not happy about how that went down with that rain delay. But look, CFL, we're staying hot in CFL, making some cash out there. I did have a push last night. I had the +4. Toronto was leading that damn thing the whole way. And then at the end, I was lucky to push, I guess is what it came down to. And that number had moved all the way down to 3. So definitely important on Sundays to get those numbers in at the right time. But let's see what you guys have going on here. My guy, Justin, the Stacks POD is here. He's ready to go. He's looking at Fitzgerald over 1.5 bases at +102. Makes a ton of sense. The guy has been making great contact with the ball. He definitely fit that 50 over 50 that we talked about last week. Hopefully you guys enjoy some of that stuff. I had a couple ideas for this week here. Some total trends on some teams post All-Star break. I thought that might be beneficial to introduce. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. No MMA Jeff today. He is he's doing something. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing something. And he definitely sends his best, but he gave us his best on Saturday, so he deserves the night to go do what he has to do. Shout out to our guy Deerslayer Ski. Says, hey, Mikey, took a little getaway with the gal this past weekend. Still managed to make a few units on the UFC, though. Could have done better. Ammo fully loaded to tail the chat. LFG, everybody. Enjoy your summer, Deerslayer Ski. We got a lot of time. We're going to have to work with you on this logo, though. Bring us back up here. The logo ain't going to fly, my guy. Come on. You're better than that. Let's go. Joe T has been on a hell of a war against unders, and he is definitely the field general in charge of the overs here, you guys. He's got 2 for you. The Reds and Marlins. I like that spot quite a bit. And then he's got the Twins and the Cubs for you guys as well. We'll be talking about, we're going to talk about both those games because one of those made the parlay. NJ Striker's in the house. Gerald Jones says, what up, Pippin? Ain't no best. Ellie De La Cruz over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, I'm assuming, is -120. I really wanted to pull the trigger on a little Ellie De La Cruz RBI action tonight, especially seeing that this thing potentially has the over. I ended up with Fredo as given out earlier today. Gerald Jones has had big casher on Puerto Rico plus points versus USA Saturday. Nice job. Kenny Woods in the house. Old E says these surfing judges are about to cost me money. Man. Subhuman Gacho's in the house. He says, well, evening, everyone. Shout out to you, Subhuman. And there's Gonzo. What up, Mike in the house? He says, what's up, everybody? Oh, we got a celebrity sighting. It's my guy. Kills the bookies overnight with his KBO plays. It's Ron Crawford popping in, saying what's up to everybody. Juggler 23. There's the trends I was telling you guys about. Got to write these things down here. Philly is 10-21 as a dog with Nola in the last 5 seasons in Miami, trending over at home. You know, you guys keep talking about this Miami over. I got to make sure that I'm invested here in some way, shape, or form. I got to make sure that I'm appropriately making contact with this Miami over. Let's just double check. Yep, we're good. I got some plays out there. We're good. Old E says, what up, fam? And there's Ron Crawford. He's got the dog of the day. I love the dog of the day, man. That's good business out there. He likes Cleveland against Zach Gallen. And he's got himself, it's got to be around even money. Maybe squeeze a couple extra pennies out of there. Shout out to you, Ron Crawford. Appreciate everything you do. All that free KBO action. And then coming in, blessing us with a dog of the day. Let's go. Winner's Circle. He likes the A's money line. He's not concerned. I saw the funniest stat I saw. I didn't write it down. I saw it briefly in whatever I was doing today. Is it good? 20? It could be 27. Is it 27? 24-27 is the record for straight losses, consecutive losses. And the post game that the White Sox had after that game has a fireworks display. So they could very well set the MLB record and then have a fireworks display after the fact. I couldn't believe it. Can't make some of that shit up. The Futon Bets likes the Reds over 8.5. Says, sup, buddy? Let's get this cash. Vitalis. Just want to say thanks. Watch another show for about 2 weeks out on by Sports Grid, and let me tell you, 5 minutes of the show a day on bets, other hour just bullshit. So appreciate you, man. Hey, we don't have time to bullshit. I come out here earlier and bullshit with you guys if you want, but you got it, Vitalis. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here. It's great to see you and everybody else coming over here on the regular. Jerry Davis says, yo, what up? We got Ron Crawford, Sean Hicks, and Mikey Money up in here. Let's go. I missed Sean Hicks. Did I miss Sean Hicks? Nasty Nate says, got out my pen and paper. Shout out to Nasty Nate. Man, he's got all them wrenches, and he tells you if you don't hit that thumbs up, he'll smack you over the head. But he smacked his bookies over the head with his UFC action this weekend. Fucking guy was firing winner after winner after winner after winner after winner after fucking winner after winner. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. Man, you know, it's so much fun watching, hopefully we're all cashing, but I love seeing you guys go big and get that money. So appreciate you, Nasty Nate, on the regular. Make sure we police these thumbs up, my guy. Julian Cesario's in the house. Says, let's go, fam. Real Deal Prime. The grinder. He's got his pen and paper ready. There's Skunt Blaster in the house. Oh, we got a KBO play. Speaking of killing the bookies overnight, Lotte. I believe that's the Giants. I'm not as versed on the team names, but I do believe that is Lotte for Ron Crawford in the KBO tonight. Gerald Jones is on the Mets. Ron Crawford shouting up Jerry Davis. Coin says shadow's starting to take effect at Bush now. Can't hit what you can't see. Sting like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Let's go. Joseph Alvarado rocking out, representing us in Chi-Town, baby. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Says, what up, Pimp Flair? Big O. Report said Sharon Moore deleted 52 texts between him and Connor Stallions the day the initial report came out. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm curious. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm curious. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm eager. I'm eager to learn, Big O. Nasty Nate says that UFC card wasn't as hard as Jeffins. I think that's going to be the first shirt that we make up. It's not as hard as they make it look, you know, not picking on Jeff and Sub, just in general. You guys love that. And stop it. Stop it's going to be coming down the assembly line too. There's my guy, Ramon Scott. Just, Al's just 1 point in the second half. Love you, CFL. Hell yeah. That was that Friday? Was that Friday's game? Or was that yesterday's game? No, it's got to be Friday's game. Had to be. I don't know. Oldie, I'm about to throw my laptop in the burn pit if these judges fuck me watching that surfing. Vitalis is 5-1, Mike, on UFC best bets. You hurt me. I might not ever financially recover. I know, man. I know. Listen, I was disappointed myself. And I was fading the Red X. Well, I wasn't fading him, but I was on the opposite side of the Red X. I thought everything lined up gravy, man. But nope, just turned out to be a pile of dog shit. Dustin's in the house. Says, what's up, Mike and Chan? He got the Red Sox and the Phillies money lines. Coin likes Boston. Plus 110 at Caesars. Close to being put in the pocket. 22-46 splits on Boston and line moving their way to Rod Z says, never bet on judged sports. Ah, man. Rod Z, waiting on my pickles, guy. Waiting on my pickles. Ricky Levine says, pimp slap. What's cracking my parlay cards? Under 9. Cubs over 7.5. The Dodgers over 7.5. Get that cash. You guys know I'm a fucking degenerate. I think I got a 782-1 parlay out there. I noticed an angle. I'm going to ride it today, and I'm going to see. It's all in the parlay because it's just easier for me to track it that way than it is to individually go back and put them all down on paper. But we'll see if there's some validity, and I can come back and share with you guys something fun. Jay Peasy says, what up, motherfuckers? What up, Jay Peasy? It's great to see you, man. I gotta work hard to compete with my guys' videos out there. He's rocking you guys. I hope you appreciate what he's doing out there all morning, man. Fucking sun's not even up, and Jay Peasy's giving you guys his best bets, man. I got to get up out of bed to go fucking put these things online for you. Appreciate you, Peasy, my guy. Audio video consultant as well. Hell of a dude. Appreciate you, Jay Peasy. Joe T says Marlins home games 37-14 and 2 to the over. Tarek B likes the Reds and the over. And Juggler 23 coming back at you guys with some more action here. The 4-unit plays. His MLB plays Red Sox plus 120, 4 units. Red Sox, plus 120, 4 units. He's got the Giants, minus 160 for 2 units. 4-unit plays now stand at 41 and 20. God damn. Just the confidence in seeing it and firing on it. That's what's most impressive. And look at that. I mean, 41 and 20. Shout out to you, Juggler 23. Oldie says, JPZ, let's go. Legend Joey Hard giving everyone the what's up. Voodoo Ranger. Webb to win, minus 110. Waller home run, plus 460. Justin McCalvey likes that KBO shout out there. And Steve in the house says, Michigan are cheating scumbags. That's what he's talking about. Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, I do remember reading about the deleted tweets. That fucking dude on the sideline of that Central Michigan game was bullshit. What the fuck? I don't understand. And then, you know what? I'm going to tell you it's true because Harbaugh leaves. So whatever suspension comes down the pike, he's out. He's out. That happened with Chip Kelly when he was in Oregon, and he took that job. It was Brian Kelly or Chip Kelly to coach the Eagles. It happened to be Chip Kelly, and he fucked everything up. But that's a different story. Steve Fennerbox says, Ohio State was their daddy for 15 years, so they started cheating to change the series. You know, they had such a good team, too. It was unnecessary. Michigan State was the team that was giving them fits, right? That was the team that they were a little concerned about. Justin McCalvey says, stop it, Merch. Dana Delp says, sup, guys? Oldie says, tell me something good, my brother. Shout out to Justin McCalvey. DJ Hardy says, even a broken clock can be right twice a day. Red X is the ultimate thing. We're starting a movement. We're starting a movement. We got some subhuman gaucho action for tomorrow, guys. This is where the pen and paper needs to come out. He's got, is that Carabag? Team total over 1.5 at minus 115. They played 12 home games this year. They scored 2 or more in all 12 of those games there. Make a note. Set your timer. You know, a great sport or a great app to do just that. SofaScores. If you guys don't use SofaScores, I'm sure there's a bunch of great ones out there. But, man, they got all the sports, and you can set that little reminder, and it'll pop up for you 30 minutes before it's time to go so you don't forget. And Gerald Jones says, Mania looks like Loshak's son. Shout out to Pete. Pistol Pete. You know you'll see him tomorrow. Gerald Jones, appreciate you, my guy. Jerry Davis asking for any more KBO snips. Justin McKelvey says, all good my way. Did some steaks on the grill. Man, I had a ribeye or a strip steak yesterday. It's fantastic. It was fantastic. Not the old ribeye that I'm accustomed to, but it was good. Diamondbacks 3-8 on Monday, says PZ. All 3 wins were at home. Guardians 3-1 at home on a Monday. Crystal Craig's in the house. There's no time to cap today, but I threw some pizza money on Dominic Smith, Boston over 1.5 bases. He's hit a double in 6 of his last 7 games. Big O says Cardinals leave 2 to end the 4th. Under looking good. That's what we want to hear. Let's go. Big O, appreciate you, my dude. Let's see. Tarek B likes the over in that Diamondbacks game. And Oldie's eating fresh fish tacos. Make sure you get some artichokes in there, my guy. You know PZ likes his artichokes. AOD says, Mike, I'm the fucking machine. Let's get to work, you guys. We got action to place. We got to talk about it now. Look, I didn't have a lot of time to write it down. Spot that I do like here. Kind of, I want to fade Rodri Munoz, right? I'll give you the play. For me, it's pretty square. It's hip to be square, right? We talked about that. You guys know Huey Lewis is making his presence on the scene. The Cincinnati Reds and the San Francisco Giants was a plus 180 parlay for me. 2 road teams will get the benefit of maximum innings out there because they will go through the 9. But Miami and Rodri Munoz, this guy's a fucking bomb. When we look at this thing here, like I said, I wasn't going to jump in, but I figured, what the hell? It's Monday. Let's start off. You know, we look at this thing. The Marlins stink at home, 22-34. The Reds are starting to find those bats again. And I love that Ellie De La Cruz look. I mean, he's hitting 276 on the season. His OPS is 889. He's hit less in the month of August, right? So here's kind of the Dabby Cab factor where he talks about his Corey Seager. When he misses, he goes back and does it the next time. Interesting spot. Hitless for Ellie De La Cruz in August, but he was damn near 300 in July. Rodri Munoz, definitely the guy that can help him go out there and figure it out for sure. And I kind of like the under 15.5 outs for Munoz. I'm going to stay away from that, but I did put that parlay together. The one leg being Cincinnati. And then I've got a stat for you guys here on the other side for the San Francisco Giants. Big dogs on a longer win streak. 10-27 on the run line. If it's the same conference, if their average line is longer than their opponents. So shitty team on a longer win streak due to take the L. 10-27 on the run line. They're losing by 2 runs a game on the run line, which means, again, they should be on average of 3.5. By the way, we talked about the margin. What was the final score of that Cubs game yesterday? Anybody remember? 6-2, I believe, was the final. If you heard the fucking video, what do we talk about? The margin. The margin of victory was 3.5 runs. Books started to show some vulnerability at 3. They lose by 4. This margin of victory shit matters, especially now, guys. Pay attention now. 3/4 mark of the season. We've gotten through the trade deadline. We've gotten through the All-Star break. Now is going to be the time where a lot of these trends kind of year over year, good teams versus shit teams, these things are going to become a factor, especially conference, interconference, and all the rest. So we'll keep putting them out there as long as you guys keep appreciating or enjoying the spots. And margin of victory is oh so key. So that Giant spot, the margin of victory is almost 3.5 runs in those games. A little juicier than I'd like. It is coming down, as far as the total or the line is concerned. 79% of the bets, only 74% of the cash on the Giants. It's gone from minus 196 to minus 165. Sure, good to see you, my guy. G, let's go. I was telling the poker story the other day again. Oh man. Oldie says, I need an outdoor fryer. Whole house smells like a kitchen. Oof. Yeesh. Especially if it's fish. Oof. Vitalis Munoz on the Marlins has a FIP of over 5.19. If the Reds can't hit him, just tip my cap. I agree. That's well said. But anyway, 79% of the bet, 74% of the cash on the Giants. This line's come down about 31 cents. Logan Webb, Patrick Corbin. I don't know, man. Patrick Corbin. That guy. I mean, we talked about it before. He just gets left out there to fry, like that fish that our guy's dropping in the fryer, oldie. But you can't. Look, do you need a trend to tell you to play the Giants over the Nationals? No, you don't. Mexican Elvis says, hey, Pimp Slapper and crew, Diamondbacks money line and Giants money line here for my ain't nothing but a hound dog. P-O-D out there. And Gerald Jones says, Cruz, better versus righties faced 3 San Francisco lefties this weekend. Yeah, I think, and Ellie De La Cruz numbers, he's an RBI spot out there. I had to decide where I like to make a degenerate parlay every day. And, I had a fucking run yesterday, guy. I should have been live yesterday. What? No bullshit. Fucking I think I hit 6 parlays. It's all documented. Anyways, where's Ellie? Where's good old Ellie De La Cruz? Plus 200 for an RBI for our man Ellie De La Cruz. But let's get to some action that I do have for you guys. Well, I gave you the parlay, right? That parlay. Love that spot there. San Fran, Cincinnati. Maybe a tip to be square, but I don't give a shit. The lines come down too. It's plus 173 now is the best number that you can get on DraftKings anyway. So make sure you shop around, do your due diligence. Let's get to this first game though. We are going to talk Arizona and Cleveland. It's a 6:40 start, so we got about 15 minutes till first pitch out there, and then we got plenty of time. So we got plenty of time to make some moves. This Diamondbacks team has opened up as a road favorite at minus 136. Active line here. I think I know what the problem is. Here. There. That seems to be the problem. Looks like we got it corrected. All right. Minus 136 to minus 115. Current numbers show 60% of the bets and 75% of the cash on those Diamondbacks. So money coming in, Diamondbacks, but line softening up to the Guardians. Now even money for the Guardians. And this line has not moved. 8.5, staying at 8.5. In fact, The 8.5 is shaded to the under. We have 91% of the bets, 93% of the cash. You guys know the deal when I talk about shaded, right? It's minus 115 to the under. So slightly juiced to the under. T. Gray's in the house. Says, what's up, Mike? I have Kyle Schwarber, Corey Seager, Royce Lewis, Brent Rooker home runs. I like that Brent Rooker a lot. I like that Brent Rooker look a lot is what I tried to say. Woo! Big O says, isn't Patrick Corbin statistically the worst starting pitcher in Major League? He's got to be. He's got to be. Gerald Jones thinks he's going to retire after this year. I mean, he's making like $45 million, isn't he? I'll tell you what, for $45 million a year, there ain't much you couldn't do to me. You want to leave me out there to get fucking roasted and embarrassed on national TV every time I get out there and start? Okay. But I'm looking at this game here, and I talked about this on the onset here when we looked at this Guardians. We got Logan Allen, 5.67 ERA. He's 8-4. Somebody sees something that they like there to be jumping in on the Guardians. And boy, I hope it's not just that they're like the best team in baseball here. You know, I know that they're the number one in the AL, the Phillies the number one in the NL, but when you beat the crown wearer, which was those Phillies in the manner that they did, you're the best team in baseball. And they got the best bullpen in baseball. We've been talking about that way back. Juggler 23 gave us that look fucking 6 weeks ago, at least now. Everyone else is just catching up. Zach Gallen, on the other hand, for the Diamondbacks with that 3.56 ERA, 9-5 on his season out there. You know, I caught a couple numbers that jumped off to me. I mean, you look at the Guardians, 4 of 5 overs, 29 overs of 52 home games as well. So a little over 50-50 coin flip there. Then we look at this other side of things, and the Diamondbacks. Bats have come back to life. 34 of 56 home games as well for that team going over the total, which does us absolutely jack shit. But 4 of their last 5 having gone over the mark, 17-0 against the Nats, then 5-4, then 9-8 against Pittsburgh. There was a little lull that they lost there, 4-2, and then a 6-5 spot. At first glance, you look at this thing and you go, yeah, these two pitchers, they should be over festivals right now out there. How about this? Arizona's last 4 games is a favorite. They're 4-0 for what it's worth. But the spot that I'm going to here, I'm taking the full game specifically because of the bullpen. Even if 1 or 2 of these guys gets touched up early, I still want to have that option to pivot back out of there. I'm taking this under. Specifically for me when I was looking at this one, 9 unders in a row are these Cleveland Guardians when they're playing NL opponents. That's a big number that stood out to me. And the best number is not available at FanDuel, so we got a little bonus there. It's sitting at minus 115. In fact, FanDuel's got it at minus 122 now. Thinking in this case here, even if these pitchers, as I mentioned, do go out there and throw their nuts up, we do have bullpen opportunities out there, and nobody's doing it better than Cleveland right now. I actually looked at Arizona and the under 8.5. But that line movement, all that cash coming in, but the line moving the other way had me drop. It was only like plus 198 anyway. Or no, it was for the under 9 and Arizona, it was 198. I felt like there's another spot that I tripled up. I went 3 wide that we'll talk about here in a few minutes. But card opens up for me. I'm taking the under in Arizona and Cleveland. I know Joe T don't like to hear that. He says, over, Mikey. Sorry, I already bet it. Well, there's a little button at the bottom, Joe T. Says cash out. Your call. But I know, look, you are the war of terror when it comes to these unders, and you're winning at a high rate, my guy. So I don't like to be on the other side. But JP says only pause and taking the Guardians, Diamondbacks numbers versus lefties. Appreciate you. Hey, yo. Let's go. Kelly V's in the house. Let's go, KB. Good to see you. Voodoo Ranger. This is Arizona first 5, Cleveland full game. That's not a bad look either. We cashed a couple of those this year in baseball. It's not a bad look. What does that look pay out? Let me take a peek. I kind of like that. 642 start for everybody. Looking at home here, Arizona Cleveland plus 900. Whew. Oh. That's what I mean. Ultimately, what I really like about that is I pulled back on taking that Arizona spot because of that bullpen with Cleveland. I like that for a plus 900. Let's keep it rolling. Let's see if we can't get through this thing so I get some time to go back and dive deeper in. Make sure you guys keep throwing your favorites out there in the chat. Let's talk about them. And let's talk about this next game. We've got ourselves a little action here. 8 o'clock window now. 3 games in the 8 o'clock window. Action in all 3 of them. So more of my card was definitely geared towards hammering this window and then sprinkling a little piece at the end. The Minnesota Twins and the Chicago Cubs. What happened here? Line opened up as a even money spot for these Cubbies. We saw that they had a 3-game win streak. Bloopers and debauchery cost them that 3rd game of the 4-game series against San Francisco. That moves them to 3-1. And then they hammered them again yesterday. When those bats get hot, Chicago gets rolling. But they're now plus 105. The Twins open at minus 118, slight movement to minus 120. 71% of the bets on the Twins, but only 52% of the cash on the Twins. So sharper bettors or bigger bettors are kind of in that 50-50 process. And this line has 7.5s out there, predominantly 8.5s. 2 books with 7.5s. 97% of the bets, 95% of the cash looking at this over. Again, 8s to 7.5s. We have Kyle Hendricks. His ERA is terrible. Whoops. I fucked this up. Whoops. That doesn't matter. You guys can see the ERA at the bottom. I'll read it out loud. The Festa, 6.98 ERA for the Twins, 1-2 on the season. Hendricks, 6.86 ERA, 3-9 on the season. You guys see my numbers here. When I'm looking at this thing, this is one of those pitching spots that I wanted to hammer. To me, it just felt like this is the right play as far as you look at these 2 guys. This should be a bring your glove to the ballpark type of night. This game probably goes extra time, probably a 5-hour game. There should be so many runs hitting this thing. It's going to only be a 3-game set. The Twins, 9-0 to the over since July 1st in series openers. They're 12-1 their last 13 games. Game number 1s to the overs. Average total we're seeing is 8. Average final, 12. Margin of victory, 4, as far as those totals are concerned. Not to mention, you got Minnesota with the WRC plus. They're 6th over their last 14 days. We try to isolate this thing and just kind of bring it down to their last 7 to 10 days of form. It doesn't matter what they did 5 weeks ago. Let's talk about what they're doing right now. The Twins' offense is 4th in baseball when it comes to runs a game. They're 4.95 runs per game on average. And you got Hendricks, 12 runs in his last 15 innings pitched. I really like these team totals over too. This Minnesota first 5 team total over might be an add to my card after I reanalyze that number. 12 earned runs in his last 15 innings pitched. Minnesota barreling out there. Strong righty lineup. All hitting above 250. So should be a good spot out there when it comes to banging the ball against righties. Then you got Festa. And, his ERA is just fucking awful. I mean, this is just a guy that's puking up almost a 7 ERA. When we look at this one here, I wanted to get Jose Miranda, but I don't know if he's not in the lineup tonight or not. So I pivoted for you guys here. I'm adding a RBI spot, going back to the Cubs, and I'm going to Suzuki. Seiya Suzuki. And I like this guy played a couple of different ways. His over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is minus 105, but his RBI sitting there at plus 195. Both these teams should tee off. We talked about these pitchers' numbers back and forth. Suzuki's got an 857 OPS, and he's hitting 357 in the month of August. I know it's only 5 days, but recent sample dispels any cold streaks. We want to try to get these guys at their optimum in hot streaks out there, and I like some Suzuki. So I'm going to add that Suzuki. Let me just edit this. Oh, man, it's about to storm. Storm and Norman. There we go. Suzuki for a little RBI action out there. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. Jerry Davis says, yeah, I was told it was 15 miles an hour winds. Let me look. Let me see what my weather gauge has to say about that. Typically, tends to be off a little bit. Oh, shit. Gerald Jones says, Mets 3-run triple, 5-0. Steve Bailey says, isn't the wind blowing in? I think that's why the number is as low as it is and why we've seen that buyback a little bit down to some of those 7.5s. But they can still, it looks like almost 12 miles an hour, dead nuts down the center of the pike. But it's humid. It's going to be warm and toasty out there. And a lot of these guys are making great contact. I mean, as far as Festa's concerned, the Cubs lineup hasn't seen this guy. But when you look at that righty situation, as I mentioned, I mean, they're all sitting there in that mid-twos range out there being able to hammer this guy. And, I don't see – it's bad news, I think, for the Twins when you start pulling guys out like that. I don't see fucking Suzuki in there either. What a waste. What a waste of taking the time to update the board. It's all right, though. Festa 306 against righties. I'm not going to pivot on the fly like that, though. I've got another spot that there's an RBI play that I want to get involved with. So I will bring that to you guys out there. Damn. There's like 3 games that I really wanted to get RBI action on, and a couple of them just didn't make the final card. Jose Miranda being out and Suzuki being out now. I mean, there's a lot of factors that say this thing probably ends up going under. Yeah, I see that, Ricky Bobby. That sucks. That does, in fact, suck. But that's okay. I opened up on this game here, this next game on the card for us. We'll talk about this one here. And then I do have one last no, he's out too. Man, what's going on today? How's everybody out? What's going on? Don't want to play baseball today? Got other things to do on a Monday, middle of the summer? Except your fucking job? Is load management starting to work its way into Major League Baseball? Is that what's happening right now? Somebody tell me that's what's happening right now. All righty. Oh, man. It doesn't look like we're going to have an RBI. But that's okay. Houston Astros. Andrew Heaney starting on the bump here. Lefty. I was talking the other day and just asking about this pitching coach change that this Andrew Heaney has received. And he's been seeing the benefits from it out there. The Texas Rangers open up as a plus 112. Home dog. Remember the series. These guys just played right before the All-Star break. Remember the Texas Rangers. This was where everybody was like, they have to win this game or this series or they're eliminated from the playoffs. They made a strategic move to change the pitching order. They took their number 1. They put him in the number 2 spot so that they created mismatches, and it worked out to their advantage. But the books see them opening up as a home dog. Now, big money, or I should say big cash opener here, minus 132 for the Houston Astros has moved down to minus 105. Here's the deal. 61% of the bets on the Houston Astros, but 85% of the cash like them Stros. Then we see this total. 88% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over 8.5 has not moved. It's Hunter Brown with that 4.11 ERA. Andrew Heaney with that 4.12 ERA. This should be a lot of fun. This whole series. This series has got just a ton of implications on the line here. It's going to start. Fuck. I was looking at Chapman as another RBI opportunity here, but if I had to look at this game from an RBI spot, I would look to Alvarez. I don't like the lefty on lefty matchup. That's my apprehension to pulling the trigger. That's the part that's got me the most stuck. But I've got a spot in the Kansas City game that I think we'll talk about here. Alvarez, 28 times he's seen Heaney. He's hitting 524. He's got a home run and a double. He's got walked 5 times more and 4 strikeouts. So in terms of consistency, he's either crushing the ball or he's getting walked. If he goes 2 for 2 in this spot, I think it's trouble because this is the game I definitely opened up on for you guys. First and foremost, the under first 5 and the full game unders for this Houston Astros team has been just printing money for me. It's just really, it's been even again the other day, 1-0 yesterday spot out there. I like to fade the Rangers in that righty spot out there as well, because If you fade the Rangers against the righty, they're 160 and 99 to the fade. So fading them, you're 61 wins over 500. Profitable spot. The Astros spot for me, as I was looking at this one here, is the bounce back. What do teams do when they're in the dog roll? Now, I know this thing's moved a little bit, so they're both kind of that minus 105. But in the bounce back, specifically in Major League Baseball after a 1-0 loss, they're 141 and 91. I think Houston, here's the thing. When we look at the momentum that Houston created going into the All-Star break, they were a shit team, and they went off there and they went like 20 and 10 pre-All-Star break to get themselves to 500. Didn't matter so much about that Texas Rangers series. Now, you've got two teams battling. You want to step on the throat of your adversary, in-state rival. And despite Andrew Heaney with that hitting coach making some things happen, Hunter Brown, I still believe, is the better pitcher behind this horse, if you will, that is this Houston Astros team. Down the line, you look at all these hitters. They're all guys that are capable of crushing the ball. I don't like that they still don't have Kyle Tucker in that lineup, but this is a tricky spot. I look at this one, and you look at the Texans, the Rangers, moving their order all over the place. Nate Lowe's now in the 6th spot. Wyatt Langford's in the 2 spot, the 3 spot. Now he's sitting in the 5 spot. Adalis Garcia's not hitting the ball very well. He's in the 7th spot, albeit, though, against Hunter Brown, he's got 13 at-bats, 4 hits, 2 home runs, and 5 RBIs. This game feels like that battle spot, though, here, where you've got this opponent. You've already been dealing with the fact that, they struggle against righties. You're in a bounce back. They've been playing terrific defense, fighting aggressively, trying to maintain this record, 57 and 54, trying to push on up. And it's the first game of a series. Should be ideal conditions being in the dome, so we won't see many factors there, but I do believe, the Astros. The flip side of this thing is there is a spot, proceed with caution when it comes to this total. 22 and 4 to the over. The Houston Astros, road favorites, off a home loss as a favorite. 22 and 4 to the over. That further lent to me wanting to take that Astros team because they're covering that margin on the total by almost 3.5 runs, and they're averaging 5 on that team total spot for the full game. If we got a Rangers team that can't hit righties, a Houston team that's in a bounce back, in an over spot where the team's averaging 5 runs per game in those positions, a lot of good at looking at this Houston spot. So it's a 3-bagger. It's Houston, it's the under 8.5, and then it's Houston and the under 8.5 at plus 265. A little aggressive to kind of get this thing rolling. Steve says, let's have a night. Steve Federbach says, Ellie, home run. Let's fucking go already. Woohoo! Diamondbacks, though, 2-0 already. I didn't want to see that. Nice job, man. Nice job with that. Fuck. Why didn't I just pull the trigger? I got too cute with it is what happened out there. And Steve Federbach says, Marte is the hottest hitter. I agree. Everybody thinks Vladdy G, but statistically, if you look at the numbers, man, Vladdy G has fallen down the order. Ketel Marte continues to rise up. Shouldn't have gotten too cute with it, but I'm getting cute with this game. No player props. Albeit, there were a couple that kind of caught my eye. Just nothing I really want to get overly excited about when it comes to this game. But let's go. We've got some spots in this next game for you guys here. I've got one spot that I jumped in on. Man, Marte. Man, 2 guys, too. Ellie and Marte are like, I'm glad some of you guys cashed. I'm damn mad I didn't cash, but that's okay. Let's go. Boston and Kansas City, you guys. Here's a game. I know we're a house divided in this spot here. We've got, where'd it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Line open up at minus 126, continuing to get wider. Shout out to my guys sub. 78% of the bets, only 59% of the cash on. Tell me it was Conforto, and I will have to shut this whole fucking show right down. If it wasn't Conforto, just tell me it wasn't Conforto. That was the other guy that I was tempted to pull the trigger on. Anyways, total open at 9 has moved to 10 in this Red Sox game. 93% of the bets, 94% of the cash on the over. Moving in alignment. Minus 126 now, minus 130 on the Kansas City Royals side of things. As I mentioned, 78% of the bets and 59% of the cash on Kansas City. Paxton, 6.23 ERA, has not won since coming over from Seattle. And Kansas City with Brady Singer playing at home, 2.88 ERAs, 8-6 on the season. You know, there's kind of it's an interesting philosophy here because a lot of people were thinking Kansas City's due to regress. A lot of people that I talk with about this stuff. Fitzgerald. Stacks, baby. Stacks. Let's go. Nice job. Stacks and our guy, Justin McKelvey. But anyhow, a lot of people thinking that this Kansas City team, is due for regression. I believe Milwaukee's the team that's due for regression in this middle bubble here, not this Kansas City team. On the other side of things, this Red Sox team, everybody picked them to kind of be middle of the pack, and yet here they are at 59-51. Big O, I don't get why people are looking at this fade on Kansas City because I just feel like Brady Singer, I like his K-prop here, sitting at 4.5 strikeouts. Now, we saw the Red Sox at home, a couple of series out there, just smashing the ball. But they used over 5 pitchers yesterday's win against Texas. I was on Boston first 5 in full game. Cash that spot here. But going on the road, I'm catching this Kansas City team at home. Now, the ball should be flying again. The Red Sox are 13-0 to the over when the total's under 11 and they used 5 or more pitchers. What that tells me about this spot here is exhausted bullpen potential. And if it's an exhausted bullpen potential, that puts Brady Singer in Kansas City right in the driver's seat to go out there and smash this team. And I think that's exactly what we see happen in this game here. A low price for a Kansas City team at home. Boston, tired, travel spot, got their hitting in bunches out there. The RBI spot that I looked at here, let me see if this guy's fucking playing. There he is. Oh, of course he's a champion. No RBI in this one. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm thinking about doing in this game. Thinking about Kansas City. I'm thinking about the over. I'm thinking about adding Brady Singer over 4.5 Ks, and I'm thinking about adding Salvatore Perez in the RBI category out there. Why is Perez? These guys have a ton of at bats against each other. Paxton's got 16 at bats. 16 tries against Salvatore Perez, and Perez is hitting 313. That 300 number is so fucking crucial this time of year. We just talked about it with Ellie De La Cruz. We talked about it with Fitzgerald. These 300 guys are striking. So if I put that same game parlay out there, then I will let everybody know. I am, though, officially moving on the Kansas City side here. When I mentioned that little formula, that little theory that I was trying out, I don't want to poison anybody's mind with it, but there's another book that doesn't have a ton of action coming in. They're a newer book. So they overreact to some of the bigger money coming in because their limits are still, not as low as they probably should be. And they're like the first ones to make that line movement. And so once this thing hit 10, they started shading this thing to the under. So once it went from 9.5 to 10, this book started thinking the under. But I still think there's an opportunity for some runs. Maybe it's Kansas City's team total that gets factored in here trying to pick on Paxton. I got a nice number, though, with this Kansas City team. As we're looking at these totals now, it went from minus 126 to 128. Now we got 130s, a 134, and a 135, and it's not FanDuel that has the best number out there. So it clears a lot of hurdles for me, especially looking to go out there and pick on Paxton. And I always try to preface it when we're looking at those spots. Now, Jerry Davis does like Boston. Kelly V, KV coming in says KC something like 15-4 first home game of a series. LJ from H-Town info that she's borrowing. We're borrowing that information from one another. And Big O's on Renfro. RBI, here comes that rain. Woo! JPC says Singer got rocked in Boston this year. Didn't make it out of the second inning. All the more reason for a little bounce back opportunity. I think runs are in store for us. Like I said, I have nothing that says under other than my arbitrary assessment of this book that was early to react to the cash. So my official play is Kansas City. I probably shouldn't even have said it. I don't want to mess your guys' heads up. FanDuel, I'm comfortable telling you guys all about FanDuel when they got the best number. And then you remember, if I say I'm playing it anyways, we're probably taking it now. So I got to do better at that. But the last game on the card that we've got for you guys, the Phillies and the Dodgers. Little West Coast battle. And JPZ, I didn't write the numbers down. I should have. I know you guys were talking about these starts when we have Nola on the road in the dog roll. I said this earlier today, and maybe this is just my thinking process around this game. 78% of the bets and 69% of the cash came on the Dodgers. They've gone from minus 135 to minus 125. 10 cents of movement when the Phillies stink, right? They're terrible. They're losing all over the place. Well, not yesterday. And then we see a total that's gone from 8 to 7.5. 97% of the bets, 96% of the cash. First five-wise, here's the problem. 4.5 has now become 3.5 predominantly across the betting landscape. You guys know the deal. I am not the CLV guy. I'm the fade that shit spot when it comes to this 4.5 to 3.5 in starting pitching. When we see that full run go under, you got to start looking at the over in this game. And you got Glass now. He's got a 3.5 ERA. You got Nola. He's got that 3.43 ERA. No doubt about, these guys, some of the top arms in the pet or in the stable. Dodgers, were they really tested against Oakland? Probably. Oakland was one of those best hitting teams in Major League Baseball, right? We talked about that the month of July. Oakland, number one across the board. 2 games they win, 1 game they lose, 3-2, 10-0. They lose that first game of the series, 6-5. They're now coming back home after multiple road series. You guys remember the trend I talked about. The road dog playing against a team returning back home for the first game of a series. We want to make sure that we take advantage of those road dogs. Now, I don't know about the full game in this spot. Seattle, I should say Philadelphia, suspect clearly against the Yankees, clearly against the Guardians. Even though they won that last game 6-0 against Seattle, can't be overly enamored with what these bats have been doing because they've been ice fucking cold. Yeah, 7-6, then a 6-5, but that Seattle series, I don't know if they flipped the switch, though. 6-5 loss game 2 on August 3rd. 6-0 loss. No rest in between out here. And now they're moving out to a huge NL showdown. And I want some Phillies action. And I want some Phillies in the first 5 action for this game here. I got a nice plus number on it. And I thought they're going to puke and implode in the bullpen situation here. We got essentially 2 coin flippy pitchers. We got a team that really wasn't battle tested in Oakland coming back for the first time. Philly's been on the road. They're geared up. What I was going to talk about with the formula or the theorem that I was kind of piloting out there is everybody got their rest for the All-Star break, except the Phillies. Damn near the entire team was brought into that All-Star game. And so everybody's rested. They're taking their 3-day vacations. They're coming back feeling good. Philly, maybe a little gassy, too much travel with having to go out there and play in that All-Star game. But now we're back into the saddle. We're back into the situation where teams should start to slide back to who they really are. There's no mathematics or numbers behind it other than just kind of an overview or an assessment of why did the Phillies kind of fall apart between the home run derby, between that All-Star break. They weren't on a break. They were carrying baseball on their backs. Now, here's what I see with JPZ saying 6-3 at home for Glass now. This is the Phillies are 0-4 as road dogs the last 30 games. And Ricky Levine says, on the same team with my parlay, 100 pays 567, cards under 9, and Twins out there. Kelly V says, Peasy, your thoughts, Mr. LA Dodgers guy. You usually have I'm going to paraphrase for Peasy here, but when they're a favorite and the money's going against them, you take them at a better number, I believe is the Peasy theory there. But we haven't seen too much around it, so we'll see what happens with this game. But I am on the first 5. I got the plus 118. I like the first 5 because if it does become a push after that first half, like if we see a 2-2 and it's a push, well, then I'll think about who's the better team going into the second half of the game because it's a low number. So with a low number, as far as the price line is concerned, we're looking at minus 130s. Problem I had with FanDuel, FanDuel's got the best number for Philly in the full game. They don't have the best number for the first 5. So it's a tie, I guess. They're tied. So nonetheless, I think it's a Philly spot here. I think they can come out. The Dodgers, everybody was writing them off early, but yet here they are again. 65-47 on the season, 66-45. Now, Guardians took the crown for being the leaders in Major League Baseball, but this is a big series for Philadelphia to come out there, sneak a couple wins, scratch a few runs across the run line there, and pick up a win, pick up some momentum, and get their asses back home to go deal with the second half or the next quarter or leg of this Major League Baseball season. So, Jerry Davis is Philly 68 WRC plus the last 11 games. We look at this thing. I mean, there's a lot of ways to talk about. There's no question the bats haven't been performing, but they don't have a lot of experience against Glass now. Trey Turner, Mr. Shortstop out there, the righty, 250. Either Austin Hayes at 182 is a recent bring in there. Kyle Schwarber's a 125, and Bryce Harper's a 167. I dismiss Bryce Harper. He's a big bats guy and big moments guy. He's not the go-to on a regular basis. I've played plenty of games where his RBIs have just fallen short. On the other side of things, though, a lot of experience against Aaron Nola for this Dodgers team. No Ohtani experience. Will Smith's got 17 at-bats, 2 hits, a home run, and an RBI for a 118. Freddie Freeman's got 73 at-bats, 17 hits, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs for a 233. Teoscar Hernandez, 8 at-bats, 2 hits, no results. He's got a 250 out there. Gavin Lukes has got a 400, 5 at-bats, 2 hits, 1 home run, 1 RBI. Andy Pages, 3 at-bats, no hits. Jason Hayward, 12 at-bats, 1 hit. Kiki Hernandez, probably the most experience and the most success, is buried in your 8 spot. Kiki Hernandez, 6 at-bats, 3 hits, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. I know Jay Peasy was talking all about him last week, and the role players have been stepping up. But I just think there's too many bats, there's too many personalities, there's too much going for this Phillies team to drop at least this first 5 here for me. It's an opportunity. And again, let's not forget the trend. I can tell you guys the exact number too, so we can quantify what this trend actually looks like here. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Phillies Dodgers above 500 dogs on the road versus a team returning home are 143-96. 143-96 is what we have out there for this Phillies team, taking a bounce back and a fade on this Dodger spot out there, at least for the first 5 innings at plus 118 cash. That's going to do it, you guys. Jerry Davis says, unless I read it wrong, all the Glass Now experience was with the Pirates. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. It sure does. But we got ourselves a card, you guys. We made it. We're down there. 7 o'clock on the dot for you guys. And I hope we get this cash. I hope you guys have a lot of fun watching your action tonight. Jerry Davis, Mexican Elvis, Jay Peasy, Kelly B, Smoke and Mirrors, Phil the Kill. Guys, remember, tomorrow we got option number 2 for the countdown intro. I'm very curious your opinions between today's and tomorrow's. We'll get a new one out there for you guys to check out, so we're not just listening to that same standard. Everybody's got it. Nobody puts any time into their craft, just giving you guys the cookie cutter countdown. We're better than that. We got the best. You guys know the deal out there. Let's get this cash out there. Justin McCovey says, appreciate the show. Sports money. Kelly V, I appreciate all you guys. NJ Stryker, Dustin, DJ Hardy, Jerry Davis, man. Have fun watching these games tonight, you guys. Make sure you get that cash. And let's keep rolling. Cliff Yang, I'll address that tomorrow. I will, because there's some action that we need to take collectively as a community to make sure that shit doesn't fly. Amsterdam, what else? Great to see you, man. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us tonight. Get your money.